Saturn is going retrograde on July 27th, and this retrograde will change the world. Saturn, the planet of time, the planet of karma, is going retrograde from 27th of this month, July, almost for 137 days. And you see, Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces, in the nakshatra of Revati, ruled by Mercury. Since Mercury is the nakshatra lord, you will find that the traits of Mercury in it, your intelligence will be affected because Mercury is intelligence. Mercury is your speech. So this transit will bring something related to your speech, related to your intelligence, regardless of the position of Saturn in your birth chart. Yeah, Mercury position in your birth chart will have some influence, but regardless of that, this will bring in. Now, you see why I'm telling this transit is so special. Because Neptune, the planet of illusion, is conjunct with Saturn right now. Now, why I'm bringing Neptune in this Parashara astrology or Vedic astrology, you might say, it is not a part of the Navagraha system. Because Neptune is in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, ruled by Saturn himself. And since Saturn is the Lord, that illusion that Neptune has produced in these days, and Saturn moving towards this Neptune will crush that illusion, will crush that veil that is there. You know, suppose Neptune was in your 10th house. Pisces is in your 10th house and Neptune is there. That suddenly will feel that this profession is not for you. You are not satisfied with this profession. Though everything is going fine, but still you will feel, oh, I want to change this profession. This is not for me. I'm going to do something else. That's the veil that Neptune is producing. And Saturn retrograde will cross that veil. And in any Nari principle, any retrograde planet gives the result of its previous house also. When Saturn in Pisces will give the result of Saturn in Aquarius. Now, Saturn will not physically move to Aquarius, but Saturn will give the results of the Aquarius also, previous sign also. And who is there in Aquarius right now? Rahu, the North Node, another master of illusion, your ambition. And you see in Kalpurush Kundli, Aquarius naturally falls into the 11th house. So all that gains, all that false ambitions and all that false gains that you could have imagined in this phase is also going to have a karmic audit, irrespective of your chart. It will face a karmic audit. Whether their hopes, ambitions about grains, about your social network will have an audit because Saturn is the judge and he will audit. Now, Saturn rules two signs, Capricorn and Aquarius. Interestingly, in Capricorn, we have got another planet which is not the part of Navagraha system. That is, Pluto is there in Capricorn. Now, Pluto demands transformation. So wherever Capricorn sign is there in your horoscope, go check it out. Because Pluto is in Shravana Nakshatra. And Shravana means literally listening. So wherever Capricorn falls in your horoscope, in your birth chart, whichever house Capricorn it is, you have to listen to the demand of that house. You cannot ignore it. Another interesting feature about Capricorn is that this transit is happening in Revati Nakshatra second pada, which transforms to the Capricorn in Navamsha. Now, why am I again bringing Navamsha and making all these things complicated? Because my aim is to make you understand the effect of this transit. See, your fifth house is the house of your past life deeds. And fifth from fifth is the ninth house. So Navamsha, we have to take into account of the Navamsha because Navamsha plays a very important role while deciding the retrograde planet effects. Because ninth house, Navamsha is your dharma, it's your internal feeling. And when a planet goes retrograde, you have to feel it very internally. So wherever, again, I'm stating this fact, very, very important, wherever Capricorn is placed in your chart, you have to see that house. You have to listen to that house because Pluto is demanding transformation. And the best part of this transit is exalted Jupiter looking into the Saturn. It's ninth aspect, the most blessed aspect, because Jupiter is the most natural benefic planet that is there. And Jupiter is blessing Saturn to do the karmic audit. That's the Guru's blessing. Jupiter is saying, oh, I'm exalted. I'm at a full power. I know what I'm doing. I know what are my duties. You just go and do the karmic audit. I'm going to support you. And I'm going to bless that individual. That's literally the lifeline that the universe has provided you. Again, you see, Pisces being a sign, watery sign, it's ocean. It's deep, deep, deep ocean. And Saturn rules oil, chemicals. Oil and water never mix. Whenever Saturn is in Pisces, check the previous transits, 30 years back, 60 years back, there is a turmoil in the world. There will be a turmoil in the world. And it's already happening. The Strait of Hormuz, over the war of oil and water, it's happening. And I assume this transit will knock some senses in the world leader, because ceasefire nowadays has become a joke. It doesn't stand even for 2 weeks. I hope this transit will knock down some senses. Karmic audit will go on. And what if my Saturn is retrograde in the chart? Excellent. Saturn retrograde in the chart and Saturn retrograding, transiting Saturn also getting retrograde is a blessing for you. You will see things are moving out very fast. You are already born with the Cheshtabal. And now the universe, the Saturn is itself having the Cheshtabal. So things will work very smoothly for you. Now, how to look into the transit? You can look into the transit in two major ways, from your ascendant or from your moon sign. If you want to feel how the transit will behave physically, you can look into the ascendant part. How you will perceive this mentally depends on your moon sign. And for the financial part, I usually combine both the ascendant and the moon. Now, the question generally arises, if my ascendant is showing good and my moon sign is not that good, what should I do? Or the vice versa. Then it's an average transit for you. Now, the transit and the results of the transit always depends on dashas. If you do not have a good dasha, transit will come, will go, you will not get that window. Most important is the dasha and then comes the transit. And if you are both ascendant and your moon are good, oh, go enjoy, you are fine. And if both are bad, please go and see an astrologer. Because if dasha is not also good, if dasha is also bad, you have to go to an astrologer to check the chart. Because specific remedies can only be given if we astrologers are looking into the chart. So without further introduction, let's move into all the 12 ascendants. I'm going to share my screen with you. First is the Aries ascendant or Aries moon sign. And you see Saturn is retrograding in your 12th house. As I've told, Neptune is there and Pluto is in the 10th house with Rahu, and see the Navamsha position of Saturn over here also. First of all, Saturn will audit your 12th house. 12th house is your house of isolation. 12th house is your house of spending. 12th house is your house of loss, your subconscious mind, your sleeping patterns, bedtime pleasures, and everything. You will see that sometimes some person spends lavishly, even if the pocket doesn't support that spending, in something which is not essential. You are going into the websites of Amazon and all those websites, online websites, and click, you just purchase it without thinking twice. Whether you will require it or not in the future, that's a different issue. But you are purchasing. So Saturn is going to hit you over there. Saturn is going to excellently tell you that no, this is where you have to draw the line in your spending. You have to have that spending habit controlled. Neptune over there is actually giving an illusion of how you are perceiving the spiritual world or your bed pleasures. And those things will dry up. Those things, whatever that illusion is, it will go away. Saturn will not support that. Saturn will also audit your 11th house, your house of gains, house of social network. You will find a bit painful during this audit if your Saturn is straight or direct in your birth chart. Your social circle, which you consider to be very close to you, or a friend who is very close to you, you consider him to be friend, but that friend is not actually your friend. He's there when you are good. He's taking advantage of you. That friend will not remain. That friend will be thrown by Saturn in the audit. It will be painful, undoubtedly a very, very painful experience for you. The social networking, the friendship circle that you have will undergo a very, very strict audit. And that's the karma that you are facing. That's the thing that Saturn will tell, oh, you are considering him as a friend? Check out this. Because that false veil will fall off. And you will leave this transit in a very, very peaceful mind. Shaky at first, but later on, because of Jupiter is blessing Saturn, you will realize that whatever happened is good. I'm saved. Because you see, known enemies are better than unknown enemies in the veil of your friends. Now your Capricorn sign falls into your 10th house. Saturn will demand, since Saturn is also there in Navamsha, Saturn will demand to revisit the unfinished tasks that you have left off over in this 2 years' time. Any unfinished job, go back, finish it. It's an opportunity. Because until and unless you are not going to finish that job, that work, that karma of yours, you will not transform. And don't worry, transformation doesn't mean that it is always bad. Transformation can also be good. If you are finishing that transformation, if you are finishing that karma, think like this, where that transformation can bring you promotion. That transformation can elevate you socially, because 11th house is also involved. You can get monetary profit. So don't overlook these unfinished jobs. Now, this transiting Saturn is actually looking into your second house through his third aspect. The second house is the house of food, what you take. So you have to be very, very, very careful about the food intake that you do. All the junk foods that you are eating and all those things, you have to put a control. You have to check those things. You have to be very, very careful about your speech, because second house also is speech. You cannot be rude, especially to your juniors, because Saturn represents your junior, your maid. You cannot be harsh to them through speech. And this is the time when you will feel spiritually elevated, because Saturn's 10th aspect is falling in the sign in your 9th house. And you will find that in order to resolve your work, you are studying something. You are going back to the courses, or you are going back to the things that you have left before and study those things and find, oh gosh, I've missed those things. How could I miss this? How could this valuable information never came to me previously? You can go for a spiritual journey. Sometimes during this transit, you will find that you have never met your guru, you have never met your teacher for a very long time. And suddenly he comes back to your life and is giving you some advice. Please listen to it, because I've told you Shravana is listening. And that will affect your 10th house. It will solidify the karma, the job that you are doing. Can be business also. Doesn't mind. And the Saturn is also aspecting your 6th house. Be careful of your gut wealth, about your stomach. See, second house is food. And how you are taking that food will be the result in the second house, 6th house. You have to be very, very, very careful about your food. I'm not talking about, oh, go into veg, go sattvic, go vegan. You can take anything. But that food is only the matter of choice. When you are hungry, you eat. When you are not hungry, don't eat. Be very, very careful with the investments. Do not do any bulk investment during this period expecting some huge returns. If your Saturn is direct in your chart. If your Saturn is retrograde in your birth chart, Excellent time for investment and the gains that you are waiting for so long. Excellent time to get promotion. Excellent time to change your dietary plan. And you were thinking about changing the dietary plan, but you are not being able to. Now it's the perfect time to change that plan. If you are stuck with your higher education, about your colleges, about your doctorate degrees, about your postgraduate, you can complete it hassle free. You are planning to travel outside, but not getting that visa, you will get that visa if Saturn is retrograde. Depending on the dashas, of course, as I've told you previously, your dashas should support this transit. Now, moving on to next, Taurus, ascendant, Taurus, moon sign. Saturn is in your 11th house, the house of gains and networks. And it will also be producing result of your 10th house. Your social circle will go and audit. Your social circle will shrink. Your friend circle will shrink. The real friends are going to survive. All those fake friends in the veil of enemy will go away. Neptune in the 11th house has given you false hopes, false imagination about the profits that you are going to make. And Saturn being retrograde will remove those false hopes for your good only. Because Jupiter from your third house is aspecting this Saturn, exalted Jupiter. It will bless you, it will never destroy you. It's a karmic audit of your well being. Like sometimes you clear your junks away from your home, you just clear the junks. You do not require it. It's just like cleansing your 11th house. While your hopes and ambitions for your karma in your 10th house will also go and audit by the judge Saturn. Whether you deserve that promotion, whether you have worked hard for the last 1.5 years, will be verified during this transit. And be very sure that if you have worked hard without expecting gains, this is the time that you will get the gains. Undoubtedly, you will get the gains. You might feel a bit late of getting because this 3 months of transit of being retrograde, you might feel that it will not happen suddenly because Saturn will take its own time to give you the result. But if you are diligent, if you have worked very diligently, Saturn will give you that result. And it's an excellent time to increase your skill. Any skill regarding that will help your work, your karma, your job. It's an excellent time to go back and revisit or reread those things or try something new or learn something new. If your company is implementing AI and you are far behind, go and learn AI. This will immensely help you in your work. The Jupiter will actually bless you in your 11th house and there will be profit. In this transit, you will find yourself very, very lazy because Saturn's third aspect is on your Lagna, on your ascendant. But if you are over that procrastination, it will work excellently. Again, Saturn's 10th aspect is on your 8th house. 8th house is deep, it's transformation. What Saturn is demanding over there is that you do some research work. It's excellent time if you are an engineer or a doctor, you go into that depth of the subject. Or if you are not an engineer or a doctor, whatever subject you are studying, whatever thing you are doing, go to the very depth of it. Don't do it superficially because 8th house is very deep. It is also where the occults and the astrologers live. And you will see your 7th aspect is falling into the 5th house. 5th house is the house of romance, your love relationships, your creativity, your children. You will find your children not listening to you. You will find if there is any false relationship, like you are loving that boy or girl, but that boy or girl is only toying with you, is only playing with you, that relationship will not stand. I know it is very, very painful, but think about what will happen if these relationships continue to move forward. And those who are artists, you will find a mental block. Literally, you will find mental block. Your creativity will take a hit. Sit back, take a breath, go to work. You will regain that creativity. And for those who are having Saturn retrograde in his chart, already retrograde in his birth chart, they will find their stuck work, the work that was stuck for days, is being completed. They will find any education that they were higher education that they were pursuing is fulfilled right now. Any gains they were hoping and it was blocked by the universe, it will open. It is a very good time to start research as well as if you want to study astrology. For Saturn retrograde, this is the maximum time for productivity, for creativity. Your love relationships will blossom. Your children will perform well. Or the next ascendant. The next ascendant is Gemini. Now, see, Gemini ascendants, this retrograde is happening in your 10th house. This is a very high order karmic settlement of your karmas. You have worked for the 1.5 years, whether you have worked well or not, whether you are thinking that, oh, I am working very hard, but nobody is recognizing me. That can be an illusion also, because Neptune is there and that illusion is going to be crushed. You are thinking that this job is not for me. Saturn will tell, hey, wait, check this out. Why do you think this job is not for you? This is the ledger. Check it. This job might be actually for you. And if your thinking was correct, you was not under the veil of Neptune, you will find that Saturn will have an audit of your karma. And if you are willing to change that job change will happen. Now, this particularly will happen, this change of job will happen if your Saturn is particularly on your second sign, on the sign of Cancer, or in the sign of Scorpio. Trines. You will be forced to change the profession. If it is not an illusion, you will be forced to change the profession. And that is for your good. Because Jupiter is actually aspecting these three houses. Your second house, your fifth aspect, your sixth house, and through ninth aspect, your karma house. And you see, Saturn is giving result of the ninth house itself, according to Nari principle, where Rahu is placed. If you were thinking about going for a pilgrimage of long distance travel, Saturn will say, hey, wait, is this the right time to go? Because Capricorn is there in the 8th house. And the sign of Capricorn is demanding you to listen to the 8th house activities. You have to listen to your in-laws, because 8th house is also the in-laws. I'm very sorry to say, you have to listen to your in-laws. Pathetic sometimes, I know, but you have to listen to them. Or you can be doing some research or studying astrology, anything. And this is the worst time to increase your expenses. Do not increase your expenses. Take a check in your expense for any Gemini ascendant, Gemini moon sign. Do not spend money which is on things which is not necessary, because Saturn's third aspect is on your 12th house. Saturn's seventh aspect is on your 4th house. If you are thinking of some renovation work in your house, stop. Don't do it. If anything is broken, you can fix it, but don't do any renovation work during this period. It is not very supportive. And Saturn's 10th aspect falls in the house of partnerships. Your part, whether it's business partner or your life partner, all those partnerships are also having an audit. Are you seriously loving your partner? Are you seriously taking time for them? Is your partner deceiving? Is your partner loyal? Is the business partner or your life partner is with you wholeheartedly? This is the period that will put that to test. And if your Saturn is retrograde in your birth chart, especially in the house, in the second house, in your 10th house itself, or in the 6th house, consider this to be a very excellent period for you. You will find gains. You will find your work which was stuck previously getting executed. Any long distance travel that you were planning but not happening or not being able to fructify will fructify now. Any research work that was paused can be started again. Your astrology, your research, all those 8th house activities, they are will be tested. And if I say 8th house, 8th house is also about insurance. Be very, very careful while checking the insurance papers. If you are renewing the insurance during this period, be very careful. Double check, triple check the insurance clause. Do not take anything for granted regarding that house. That will be coming back to haunt you later on. Your mother's health might be in some turmoil. Take care of your mother's health. Take care of your household things. If your Saturn is retrograde, it's excellent. That I'm already telling you. If Saturn is retrograde, all the things that I'm telling is opposite that of Saturn direct. Saturn retrograde in your birth chart, of course. Whenever I am telling you, take care of your mother's health, especially your mother will suffer from joint diseases below the knees, from knee portion and below. Take care of that. Moving on to the next ascendant, that is the ascendant of Cancer. Now you see Saturn here is in your 9th house, and it is also affecting your 8th house where Rahu is positioned. Saturn over here will lift the veil of your spiritual blindness. What do I mean by spiritual blindness? Suppose you are stuck in the field of spirituality, you do not know where to move, you do not know which devata to do the puja, you will find an answer. Because Neptune here was actually blocking that path. Saturn hitting Neptune retrograde will actually help you understand which deity you should pray. You could revisit your old gurus. Now, for a very long time, your old teachers are not in contact. And suddenly you will find that the old teachers are contacting you. Do listen to them. Do listen to their advice. Especially take the advice for maintaining good relationships, because your Capricorn sign is falling in your 7th house, and that house is where Pluto is. It's demanding transformation in Shravana Nakshatra. So you have to listen to your gurus, listen to your father, whatever they are suggesting about your relationship. You may not like it, but you have to listen. And Jupiter is in your ascendant, positioned in your ascendant, exalted. So your 9th house and your 5th house are in full bloom. That is why I have told you that this is the perfect time for your spiritual progression. Period. The blessings of Jupiter is there in the Lagna. It's excellent. 5th house is the house of mantra, and 9th house is the house of religion. Also affecting your 8th house. Deep tantras. This may not be a very good period for your material expectations, your gains, your social circle, because Saturn's third aspect is over here in your 11th house. Whatever you are expecting to get that money will be stuck. Saturn will take time. Once that audit is over and you are actually eligible for that gain, Saturn will give you. And if you are not, Saturn will not give you that gain. And since Jupiter is actually aspecting Saturn, that gain will not be nullified, but it will be not of the magnitude that you were thinking. And Saturn's 7th aspect is actually in your 3rd house, your siblings, your communication, your neighbors. Your neighbors will get a purge. Your siblings will have to face the karmic audit. Your short distance travel that you are planning to do will get a hit. Saturn will say, hey, see, your siblings will require your help, and you have to help them. You have to help your siblings. And where is Saturn's 10th aspect? Saturn's 10th aspect falls into your 6th house. Oh, again, the 6th house. Sixth house is the house of competition, of your enemies, of debts, of litigations. And you have to be very, very, very particular about your enemy. You have to be very, very, very particular about your enemy, who your enemy is, who your friend is. And those who are into facing court cases, into litigations, that litigation is going to be tracked. Saturn will do an audit of all the litigations that you are facing. And if the litigation is false, when Saturn goes direct, it will be an excellent result for you. Because Saturn will not let anything which is not true. It will remove those things from the life. It will purge it. It will purge all those things. Now, if your Saturn is retrograde in your birth chart, you will find excellent for your spirituality. You will find excellent for your partnerships. You will find your siblings' health, your siblings' problems being resolved, your communication being better, you are winning litigations, you are thriving in the competition. Those where the blockage is in the normal time is not there. And Saturn retrograde in the house of Pisces in the ninth, you have to take care of your father's health. Saturn is demanding that you should be checking with your father. You may not have a very good relationship with your father. The universe is giving an opportunity to fix that. Next is Leo, Leo ascendant, Leo moon sign, Leo lagna, and your Saturn is retrograding your 8th house. You should be very, very, very careful about your insurance papers, about the research that you are, if you are in a research field, if you are a doctor or an engineer, you have to be very, very, very careful during this period. Because Neptune over here is creating that veil, that creating that illusion. And for those Leo ascendant or Leo moon signs, if you think your astrology or your occult or your tantra is working perfectly, this is the time for a hard reality check. Saturn will test it. Saturn will test all those tantras, all those occult studies that you have done. Saturn will test this, and if you are successful, if you have put a lot of effort, you will survive. Otherwise, no, you will not. If your knowledge is true, it's excellent. When Saturn will go direct, you will blossom. When Saturn will go direct and you are not serious, you have got a superficial knowledge about all those things will not fall down. So start working in these zones. And for those who are engineers, if you are not confident of the project, do not take it. Do very, very deep research and then only take that project. Otherwise, there will be something that is creating hindrance in the path. Because 8th house is the house of transformation also. If you have not gone deep into the project and taken that project, suddenly you will find that there are things which you have missed, and that is costing you very much to your company, to your farm, whatever be it. I do not mind. And Saturn is also giving you the result of the 7th house. So your 7th house, your relationships will also face an karmic audit. That illusion that you have, that your spouse is excellent in the world, is very supportive, your business partner is excellent, he is also very supportive, that will fall off. That will not be there. And if those partners, if the spouse, if those partners are excellent and is good, and you are blessed, this audit will survive. Because Rahu over here has created that illusion. But if you are in a relationship with someone who is not of your tradition, someone who is not in with your religion, sometimes happens in India, this is an excellent period to get married. Because Saturn's 10th aspect falls in the 5th house, and Rahu in the 7th house indicates that your marriage will not be traditional. It's an excellent time to get married, even if your Saturn is not retrograde in your chart. If your Saturn is retrograde in your birth chart, it's an excellent. You can do it. You can go for it. And you see, Jupiter from the 12th house is blessing this Saturn. So your spouse can be from foreign land also. You are having a relationship, long distance relationship can fructify this time. Again, you will find that your Capricorn sign with Pluto and your Navamsha Saturn is sitting in the 6th house. This is where the transformation will begin. You have to be very, very careful about your routine. You have to maintain a routine. You have to maintain certain parameters, certain discipline in your life. And you have to listen to anyone or everyone who is telling to take care of your health, suggesting how to tackle your enemies, how to win your competitions, how to get over the litigation. Just listen. Because as I've told you in the introduction, Pluto is in Shravana and Shravana is listening. You have to listen. Listen very carefully. And Saturn's third aspect is on your 10th house. You might feel that your job is stuck because Saturn is auditing over there with the third aspect. Saturn is auditing the work that you have done for the last 1.5 years or 2 years. Is the work satisfactory? Is the work up to the standards? If yes, well and good. If no, you have to revisit those work and do it again. This Saturn is aspecting the second house. You have to be very, very, very careful about your speech, about the fooding habits that you do. Actually, it's an excellent time to change your dietary preferences. Don't go into the junk food. Don't eat anything unnecessary. Sometimes what we do, we are not hungry, but we see something and eat it. Don't do it. Don't eat those things. Don't eat the junk food. Otherwise, you will have problem in your stomach. That gas that we feel is very much there. Saturn over here is telling you one thing. Saturn over here is requesting you to do everything minutely, deeply, double checking is always necessary. Now, if your Saturn is retrograde in your birth chart, it's an excellent position to restart your Tantra work. Your insurance will fall in place. You will have gains through unrevealed sources because 8th house is also money, finances of others. Those who are handling the finances of others, an excellent period for them. Excellent period for doctors and engineers who are having Saturn retrograde in their birth chart. Their work will not be stalled like Saturn direct people. They will find, in fact, they will find very progress in their work. Their relationships will blossom. Their enemies will be defeated. Their litigations will go away. And yes, they have to take care of their fooding habits. It's an excellent time to get married to someone who is not from your tradition. Saturn retrograde people. It's an excellent period for you. And again, I'm telling, this period is excellent only if your dasha supports. If your dasha is not supporting, then it is of no use. Because primarily dashas are the most important part. Transits are the windows. Dasha is the playing field. If there is no field, transits cannot play the role. And one thing that I've missed over there, those who are having childbirth issues, failed IVFs, it's an excellent time to have the IVF done again because Saturn's 10th aspect is over here. And if you have retrograde Saturn in the birth chart, is an excellent chance for getting that IVF done and getting that child. And since it is there in the 5th house, aspecting the 5th house, if you have Saturn is direct, you will find creative blocks. You will find your children is not listening to you. And if your relationship is fake, suppose you are loving that boy or girl, and that boy or girl whom you love is playing with you, that relationship will also not stand. Because Saturn, again, I'm repeating this thing, Saturn will always demolish what is not true. Saturn does the audit, sees your ledger until this is not appropriate for you. Might be painful, and since Jupiter blessing is there, he will survive this phase. Moving on to the next ascendant, that is the Virgo ascendant. And in Virgo ascendant, he will find Saturn rules your 7th house. This is very, very important for anyone who was thinking of taking a divorce, who was very, very doubtful of their partners. because Neptune over here is creating a veil to your partnership. Even for the business partnerships, if you think that your business partner is not of good, Saturn will crush that veil and reveal to you the secret. Hey, look, your spouse is fantastic. You are the one who is not believing him or her, or your business partner is excellent. He's actually supporting you. You are not getting that point, because this audit will make you clear about your long term partnerships, will help you analyze who actually you are, because this Saturn's seventh aspect falls on the first house. This transit will actually make you know who you actually are. And Saturn's third aspect is there on the ninth house. Any long distance travel that you are planning can be put on hold. Your father's health needs special attention. Your studies, means higher education of colleges or doctorates or anything, will face a severe audit. If you are very serious with your studies, you will survive this phase and will do excellent when the Saturn turns direct. Otherwise, Saturn is telling you to go revisit those chapters that you have left unfinished. Just finish them. And if you have not finished those chapters, you will be facing some trouble when Saturn goes direct, and when that is actually going to yield results. Saturn is actually clearing all the debts that you have in the ninth house. Now, Saturn, as I've told you, in any Nadi principle, will also give you the result of the previous house, where Rahu is sitting, where you have thought that you are already winning over your enemies, where you have thought you are already winning with the litigation. Saturn in Aquarius with Rahu in Shatavisha Nakshatra will make you realize that your enemy is not weak. You need special effort to defeat them. You need special attention to the litigation matters. And in this time, do listen to your spouse. Why? Because Saturn's Rashi, Capricorn, where Navamsha Saturn is also placed, as I've mentioned in the introduction, Pluto is there and demands a transformation. And Pluto is in there in the Shravana Nakshatra, which tends to hearing. So you have to hear to your spouse, to your partners. Only then there will be a massive creativity inside you. Or I should say, your children will blossom. You will be actually settling your previous karmic debts, previous life karmic debts. Because fifth house also indicates your past life karmas. Do listen to them. And Saturn's 10th aspect is falling in the house of your mother. Your mother's health needs special attention. If you want to start a renovation, do not start a renovation in this period. It's actually advised that when Saturn turns direct, you do the renovation. Or Saturn moves into Aries, you do the renovation, not now. And if your Saturn is retrograde in the chart, it's an excellent period for the partnership. All the things that I've told you for the direct doesn't apply for the retrograde. For retrograde, it is actually a very good period. For the retrograde, you will defeat the enemies. For retrograde, your higher education will be fructified by now. Normally, you are stuck, but now you will not be stuck. Your children are performing well. Your creativity has increased. You are not lethargic. Your mother's health is excellent. Suddenly, you will find peace at home. And those who are having Saturn retrograde in their chart, especially in the seventh house itself, it's an excellent time for marriage. If your dasha supports, it's an excellent time for getting marriage. Moving on to the next ascendant or moon sign, that is the sign of Libra. For Libra, Saturn is actually an Ati Yogkarak planet, ruling your fourth and the fifth house. And currently, Saturn is positioned in your sixth house. You are very reluctant with your routine. For the last 1.5 years to 2 years, you were not maintaining a routine. You were actually very careless with your enemies. You were thinking that your enemies are weak. You are not considerate of your competition, who your competitors are, and how are you going to compete with them. Because Neptune over here created that illusion. Suddenly, Saturn turning retrograde will force you to take up that routine, to maintain a strict routine. And it will make you realize who your actual enemies are. It will also make you realize that who your competition is, who your competitors are, and how you will need to perform in this competition. If you were facing any litigations, you were like, okay, it's a small litigation, nothing will happen. But now you have to take it very, very seriously, because Saturn will unveil that, see, look, this is not a very small litigation. This is actually a very tough one, and you have to fight it. If your Saturn is positioned in the sixth house itself in the chart, that Saturn, that natal Saturn, will help you fight that litigation. Otherwise, you have to be very, very careful of it. Now, you will also see Saturn is also affecting your fifth house from Nadi principle. Any retrograde planet gives the result of the previous house also. And during this time, since Rahu was in Shravana Nakshatra, you were very, very proud of your creativity. You were very proud of your love affairs or your loved ones. You were in an illusion that your child is actually doing good. And when Saturn will give the results over there with Rahu in Shatabhisha, and all those things which were fake will wipe out from the face. Saturn will say, hey, look, this is actually how you should create. This is actually your creative field. Saturn will also force you to look into your child, your children, and say, this is where they are going wrong. Saturn is conjunct with Rahu in the fifth house. You will find a very interesting thing happening. When Rahu entered into Aquarius, you were mad about mantras. You looked into YouTube, you looked into all social medias about different mantras, did different mantras. You are very obsessive about mantras. And now Saturn suddenly will tell you, look, these are not the mantras that you should do. These are the mantras, only these are the mantras that you can do. Because Saturn is auditing your fifth house. And it is actually good. It is actually good for your mantra. And it is actually good to start meditation because it is also aspecting your 12th house. Meditation. You have to be very, very careful about your sleeping habits. And Saturn's third aspect is falling in the 8th house. You have to be very, very careful with your insurance papers. If your insurance is getting a renewal, you should look into the clauses of that insurance. You should reread it twice, thrice, doesn't matter. Do not skip it. Again, you will find that this time demands some occult practices in your life. You will be forced, because you are already into mantras, you will be forced to have some occult knowledge. Maybe knowledge of astrology, maybe some other tantras. You will find the sign of Capricorn falling into your fourth house, where Pluto is residing. Navamsha Saturn is there also in the Capricorn, as I have told in the introduction. Now, Pluto being Shravana is making you listen to your subordinates, to your maids. Because once you listen to your subordinates, to your maids, you will find maximum of your household problems are gone. You will find peace at home. Just listen to their advice. Now, moving on to the next ascendant, that is Scorpio. Now, for Scorpio ascendant, Scorpio Lagna, Scorpio moon sign, your Saturn is the ruler of your third house, and fourth house is positioned in the fifth house. And your fifth house is having an audit. You will find your children or your child will stop listening to you. You will be fed up with your child. You will have a creative blockage. You will find that your love life has taken a hit. If the person you love doesn't love you wholeheartedly, the relationship will not survive. And you will find that you will become very strict with your children, because you want your child to be absolutely perfect during this time. Any creativity blocks that you are having is for good, because Jupiter in the ninth house actually blessing your fifth house. That block is necessary for your higher productivity. Any hardships that you face during this 3 months of retrograde, please do not do any remedy, especially for when Saturn in the fifth house. For Scorpio ascendant, do not do any remedies. Why? You might feel hellish, but do not do the remedies, because Jupiter is aspecting the fifth house. And any hardships that you are facing is actually clearing up the karmas. Your past life karmas, to be very particular, because fifth house is also the house of past life karma. In Nadi principle, you will find this Saturn is actually giving the result of the fourth house. Now, in the fourth house, you will have Rahu. And this is not a very good time to start construction. Any project, any renovation, do not start it. You will find obstacles. You will find obstacles in the path of this construction. Your mother's health will also take a hit in this period, and you will find your home environment sort of messy. You will not find peace at home because your Capricorn sign is in the third house where Pluto is there. Pluto wants transformation in the third house. So you'll find your siblings requiring your help. And it is your duty to help your siblings. You may not have a very good relationship, but Saturn is demanding that. It's demanding in that audit. Look, you may not like your siblings. You may not have a very good relationship with your siblings, but you have to take care of your siblings. That's it. I don't want to listen. Saturn will also audit your short distance travels. Whether those short distance travels are yielding any result or not, Saturn will be very true with it. And this Saturn's 7th aspect is actually falling to your 11th house. All those profits and gains that you were thinking in your mind that you will receive very easily will be held up by Saturn. So wait, let me see, are you eligible for that? Are you eligible for that profit? If yes, you will get it. Well, I will turn direct because I do not believe in shortcuts. And Saturn's 10th aspect is falling 2nd house. Your speech. You have to be very soft spoken. You have to have your dietary plan ready. You cannot eat any junk food. Even your family members will require your help. Your siblings will require your help. Your family members will also require your help. But those help that you are doing is actually clearing up your past life karma. Because Saturn is transiting in the 5th house. And for those who are having retrograde Saturn in their chart, do not worry, it's an excellent period for you. You will find your siblings to flourish. You will find your speech to be excellent. Everybody is listening to you. Your creativity is at its peak. Your love life is also good. Your fooding habits is sorted. Now moving on to the next ascendant, that is the Sagittarius ascendant. Jupiter himself is the Lord, and Saturn is the Lord of the 2nd and the 3rd house. Your Lagna Lord is actually in the 8th house, exalted, and your Saturn is in the 4th house. Over the period for the last 1.5 years, you have found friction at home. You have always thought about moving away from home. You have thought that your mother doesn't love you. Your mother is very suspicious of you. And in this period of time, you will find that all those things that you are thinking about your home is not right. Your mother's suspicion might increase because Saturn is retrograde, but the thing that you have thought about your mother, about your home, about leaving your home will face an audit. And those who are outside of the home, living outside, far away from your home, will have to return because Jupiter is also demanding a return. If your Saturn is retrograde in your chart, in your birth chart, you will return to your home and you will find it very peaceful as well as very, very effective. And Saturn is also giving the result of the 3rd house. You have to be very careful about your communication, about your siblings. Your siblings will require the help and you have to do it. Saturn's 3rd aspect is falling on the 6th house, where Saturn is telling you to maintain a routine, to be competitive. Because when it comes to your enemy, when it comes to your competition, you always rely on Jupiter. God's grace will save you, but not this time. You have to be very, very cautious about your enemy, about your competition. You have to take it very seriously during these 3 months. And if your Saturn is retrograde in your birth chart, you are going to win over your enemies. You are going to win over the competition. Your Saturn's 10th aspect is falling on your ascendant itself, which will make you very, very lazy. And especially for ladies, be very careful of your hair. There can be a massive hair fall during this period. Take care of your physique. Otherwise, you will find that this 6th aspect is actually affecting your health because 6th house is also about health. Now we move towards our next ascendant or moon sign, that is Capricorn. And in Capricorn, Saturn is the ruler of your 1st and the 2nd house, and your Saturn is placed in the 3rd house. when Saturn is retrograde in the third house, the karmic audit happens in the third house itself. You will find that doing a lot of hard work for the previous 1.5 years without yielding any result, because you were in a illusion of Neptune that hard work was only the path of success. But now when Saturn is retrograde and moving towards Neptune, this illusion is being cracked. You will find that hard work is not only the key to success. Yes, it is a key to success, but not only the key to success. You will find that you should take care of your creativity, of your children, of your love life, because Saturn's third aspect is there. Since you were so hardworking, you might have ignored your love relationship. And Saturn over here will make you realize that yes, you have to work hard, because I also work hard, but love and relationship also plays a part in your life. You have to be creative. Only hard work is not the key to success. And over the period of time, you will find that you were very, very reluctant to travel outside. Means short distance travel was not in your cards. And Saturn will let you realize that yes, you need short distance travel in order to fulfill your gains. Why I'm saying this? Because exalted Jupiter is aspecting your Saturn from the 7th house and also your 11th house, that is your profit. According to Nadi principle, Saturn also will give you the result of the previous house. That is second house, where you will realize that yes, you have used harsh speech. Yes, you have not maintained your food diet properly. And Saturn is requesting you to revisit and to maintain that diet, to have a speech which is not harsh. You have to speak politely. You realize that the second house, that your family, where your speech, where your fooding habit resides, you have to go back and do that audit. Saturn's 10th aspect is falling on the house of loss, expenses. It's an excellent time for spirituality, to start meditating. And you have to be very, very careful about any extra expense that is happening in your life. You have to stop that expenses or find a way to stop that expenses. You should also concentrate on your higher studies or any studies that you have left out. Means any guru advice, you need to understand what your guru was saying in the past. You have to revisit that. You have to revisit your gurus, your mentors, your father, what were they saying in the past? Because Saturn's 7th aspect is falling on the 9th house. The sign of Capricorn lies in your Lagna, where Pluto is there, and Navamsha Saturn, as explained in the introduction, is creating the effect. Now Pluto demands transformation. Excellent opportunity to change yourself completely. How you change from within is the major aspect or major thing in this transit. It is a major thing, because you need to change. You need to understand the dynamic. You need to understand what is good for you. You need to understand how much hard work you have to put. You need to understand your love relationships, your children, your creativity plays a role. You have to understand your guru. You have to understand your religious faith. You have to understand spirituality, meditation. And if you can change all these things, because when a person changes, when a person understands what is karma, how much he should work, he should value relationship, he should value child, all these things brings an internal change. That transformation is reflected over here. And if your Saturn is retrograde in your natal chart, it's an excellent period for you. Again, as I've told you before, because Saturn retrograde in the third house were creating problems with your communication. Now you will find that your communication is very, very smooth. You will find that you are cracking. It means you are excellent. Everybody is listening to you. You are very, very unorganized with your documents. Now suddenly you are very organized with your documents. Suddenly those things of love relationships was put a pause by the universe has taken shape. Your children are respecting you. Your creativity is at the peak. Your gurus are actually giving you good advice. For Aquarius ascendant, Aquarius Lagna or Aquarius moon sign, your Saturn is the lord of your 12th and your first house. And in your first house, you have got Rahu positioned. Your Saturn, transiting Saturn is on the second house. So transiting Saturn is going audit in your second house, means that you have to be very, very careful with your speech. Your speech should be very soft. Your fixed asset that you have accumulated will come into an audit, because Jupiter from the 6th house is aspecting your second house. Jupiter is telling Saturn, go and audit. I am exalted and I will bless. If the fixed wealth accumulated by them is of value, is not superficial, I will expand it. You do the audit. Now Saturn will perform that audit. Now Saturn will also audit your fooding habits. 6th house, where Jupiter is positioned, and second house. That two houses actually links to your health, to your gut health. If you were eating unhealthy foods, if you were eating fast foods, if you are eating stale foods, your gut health will take a hit. And you were delusional about your family members. You were thinking your family members doesn't provide any value to your life because Neptune was positioned over here. You were thinking your speech is excellent. And when Saturn is retrograde and hits your Neptune, you will find your family members are actually of value, actually supporting you. Your speech needs refinement. And as per Nadi principle, Saturn will also give you the effect of the first house, that is the previous house, where Rahu is positioned, where you were in an illusion about yourself being very big. You had a very good network. You had suddenly a burst of fame in your life. But now you're realizing that that fame is temporary. You have to be very grounded to maintain that fame. You have to listen to your family members because Pluto is in your 12th house in the Shravana Nakshatra, where Navamsha Saturn is sitting, as told in the introduction. And Shravana means hearing. You have to listen to your family members. Once you listen to your family members, you will find that your expenses has reduced. Your loss making tendency has reduced. You are more into spirituality. You are doing meditation. Saturn aspecting your 4th house, which is not very good period for start any construction or renovation work. Your mother's health could take a hit, especially the bones below the hip region. You have to be very, very careful. You will find that the peaceful home you were in, suddenly that peace is gone. And if you listen to your family members, that peace is restored. Saturn's 7th aspect is falling in the 8th house. And since Saturn's 7th aspect is falling in the 8th house, is an excellent period to start your astrology journey, to start any research work. If you are an engineer or a doctor, you can do deep research of your studies. But be in mind that if your insurance is lapsed and if you are renewing your insurance, you have to read it twice, thrice. Go to the clause, don't overlook it. And your Saturn's 10th aspect is on the 11th. All those quick profits that you have thought will make way to your accumulated wealth will be taken a pause by the universe because Saturn is doing the audit. Your friend circle will purge. Brains which are not real will move away from the life. Your network circle will shrink. And it's for better because when your network circle shrinks, you will find that the pure persons are within your network. And that's a blessing. You may have 1,000,000 followers, but out of that 1,000,000 followers, only say 10K followers are actually of value. That 10K followers are your asset to your building blocks in the future. And if your Saturn is retrograde in your chart, it's an excellent period for you. All the things that were held up, all the profits that were held up will be released by Saturn. All the accumulated wealth destined to have, according to the effort that you have put in, you will receive that. It's an excellent period for those who are having natal Saturn retrograde to reinvent themselves during this transit. Because Saturn being the Lagna Lord with Rahu in Shatvisha Nakshatra, you can actually rise in your career. The fame that you want, the actual fame that you want, the actual fame that you are worth of will be received during this time. Now moving towards our last ascendant or moon sign is the Pisces, ruled by Jupiter, and Saturn is there in the Lagna. Jupiter is in your 5th house, aspecting the 1st house and the 9th house. And Saturn is actually the lord of your 11th and the 12th house. This Saturn over there for the past 1.5 years to 2 years has not produced good results for you because you were very doubtful of yourself. You were very doubtful of any ventures that you took. Yeah, there were blessings. There are blessings from heaven. But these blessings need to be fructified. And the doubt created by you, see, the doubt can be many things. The doubt can be about your looks. The doubt can be about your presence. The doubt can be about your job. The doubt can be about your communication. All those doubts that you have created will go away. You will be shown full picture by Saturn because Neptune has created that doubt, and when Saturn is going to hit this Neptune, traveling backwards or retrograde, you will find that these doubts will vanish. You will find the true worth of yourself. You will know what are the limitations, how the job is important to you. You will find that how you are good in communication. suddenly you will realize that you have a strong affinity for mantras. You will find peace. You will find peace in spirituality. And all those travel that you were trying to do during this time, long distance foreign travels, will take a stop, will take a hit, will take an audit, because Saturn will give the result of the 12th house also, according to Nadi principle. And Saturn will say, hey, wait, you are traveling outside, you are traveling to a foreign country. Let me check if everything is clear. If everything is in favor, you will move. You will obviously go and you will grow, because Rahu is supporting there. Rahu is foreign. Rahu is supporting. But is that an illusion or ambition of Rahu, Maya of Rahu, that you have been fed? If it is not on Maya, very well, you are excellent. You are ready to go. You will find your Capricorn sign is in the 11th house. And where Pluto is in the Shravana Nakshatra, and Shravana means hearing, where Navamsha Saturn is also there. As I've told in the introduction, you have to listen to this house. You have to listen to the 11th house. What is their demand? You have to listen to your social circles. No, you have to listen to yourself. Since you are cleared of your intuitions, you have to listen to your soul. Is my social circle worth it? Is my friend circle worth? Is the thing that I'm chasing for my gain really worth it? That's the question you are going to put forward. Pluto wants transformation, and it will transform your network circle to good. You will find your Saturn's third aspect in the third house itself, the house of siblings, the house of communication. You will find suddenly your siblings are demanding a lot from you, and you have to cater to that. You will find your job pressure increased. 10th aspect of Saturn, transiting Saturn. Do not shy away from that. Do not complain that your job responsibilities have increased and you are not getting any result. This is not the period for getting the result. This is the period for doing the work, because Pluto is already in the 11th house of transformation. And once you are very serious with your job and if you are working very hard, which is also a part of the third house, working hard, you will get these gains when Saturn turns direct. The transiting Saturn in your Lagna has actually made you very lazy. You procrastinate a lot. You are in confusion. Now you have to understand the value of yourself and you have to work hard. And responsibility will increase, and that will increase the profit in the coming days. And for those who are having Saturn retrograde in their birth chart, they will have their profits earned during this time. They will move to foreign lands. If their visa was stuck, they will move to the foreign lands. They, with little effort, their work will be satisfied, or their gains will be realized. They would be very, very hardworking during this time if you have Saturn retrograde in your chart. As I've told you before, because Saturn retrograde in your natal chart, in your birth chart, you are already born with that Cheshtabal. And when transiting Saturn goes retrograde, that Cheshtabal matches up, and you are actually realizing what you need to do during these 3 months. Don't let these 3 months go to waste. So we have completed all the 12 ascendants or the moon sign. The final thing that I want to tell is that any transit depends on dashas. If you do not have a very strong dasha, things will not materialize. If you have a very supportive dasha, things will materialize. Think like this way: Saturn, the planet of karma, is actually retrograding and giving you a chance to settle your previous debts. If your previous debts are cleared, in the future, you can reap the benefits of it. I wish everyone luck during this transit. Thank you.